Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome to today's Lunar Classic video update for Friday 15th of July. We do have a nice good pump up to the upside. The technical target that I was expecting this to be a continuation pattern. I even told you that this decision has to come in until 16th of July, but we pretty much have made that decision and it seems like a decision that is pretty much out there. So bearish pattern got invalidated and the break was where? The break was to the upside. You made the break, you continue higher, the view to the downside gets cancelled. It was pretty simple, okay? So we talked about this one in detail yesterday, but the unexpected really happened, and the unexpected is that the break happened to the upside and you moved higher and higher and you kept going really high. Now, what's next? What's going to happen from here? There are some few things to check or to keep a check on, and that's going to be very, very important on the daily time frame. Yes, you pump, but you pumped to meet a particular resistance again. Okay, so this was what was previously resistance here is nothing, support there was nothing more than a resistance right now. Okay, and the chances of still coming down here could be there. All right, so it's not out of the way, but it's still actually in play. And the reason why it is because you did have three supports right over there. I feel like 7 times you touched this line as well. You went to the downside, you came up here and you broke it. Yes, you broke it, but it comes to the to how much this pump really means something. And when you want to know if a pump is real or not, you always turn the volume. Okay, so do turn the volume and you're gonna get enough answers when you turn the volume. For example, when you saw all these huge candles, look at how the volume was beautiful. Incredible volume. Ever since then, the sell-off began and the volume declined as well. Okay? I just want to actually concentrate on this candlestick, this pump that we have on a daily. Okay? And this could be that tomorrow you do dump with the same velocity as well. Just the same way you pump to the upside, you get rejected at this area, and tomorrow you go really down the same way you just went up. It could happen. The reason why it can happen is, number one, let's go step by step. We do have the resistance, right? So when you meet this resistance up here, it's important and essential to cross it and back test it to actually continue further higher, which you're not doing, isn't it? So maybe the pump has played out and this is not the pump that you want to grab and buy, or it's more like a pump that you might want to consider selling. So it went up like that, met that resistance right over there, isn't it? But the volume, look at how this candlestick really is. It's smaller in size than this candlestick, isn't it? But you can see the volume of that candlestick is almost equal to the volume of this candlestick. So how can a small candlestick like this have almost equal volume of this one? This should have had a bigger volume as well, something like this. The volume should have come up here, breaking the volume ever since 2nd of July, which today's 15. It could have had to break the thing as well. So that's when you actually can recognize if a pump is a fake or is a real pump or not. Okay, so the volume really helps you determine if the pump can be sustainable and can be depended upon. I just think, and I just, at least for now, this is my personal take as far as I look at the chart, is that you are at the resistance. And when you meet a resistance, it's important to ask yourself that if you're buying at the resistance. If you're buying at the resistance, you might want to consider not buying at the resistance. You really have to break that resistance. All right, so the favorable scenario is going to be this: break the resistance, come back for the retest, move higher. Okay, that's exactly what you must be doing. So let's actually shift into the 4-hour time frame as well and see what the 4-hour time frame really is all about. So now on the 4-hour time frame, the volume is there. But if you go on the daily, now you see, you might say, hey, on the 4-hour time frame we have the volume, so isn't it gonna work? Okay, the transfer from 4-hour time frame to one daily So how many 4 hours do you have in a daily? 6 4 hour. You have 6 candlesticks of a 4 hour time frame in one daily time frame. Okay, so when you combine those 6 candle of a 4 hour time frame, they actually become compressed and they become less noisy, and they're like a modified version of those candlesticks. So when you add this volume and you add this volume, you add this volume and some few another volume, maybe 3 more candlesticks that we need to complete the daily. When you add that, you get an average number of the volume, and that actually is better determined on the daily. You can see that, right? So this on the 4 hour time frame shows nice volume in there, but on the daily, when you come down and it's like more modified and filtered version of the volume, you still get it that hey, the candlestick was huge, but the volume is not there, and the volume actually hasn't closed just yet. We have 15 hours and 52 minutes to close the volume, actually to even close this whole candlestick. But I'm just trying to tell you the scenario that can happen within this next 15 hours. If you try to close it like this, yes, there's a good chance you might end up trying to break it again, but still end up failing it and continue to go lower. And what do I mean by that? Something like this. And you see, Luna Classic has a habit of doing that. Why don't we take a lesson here? It's like you ended up with the wick, you try to break up with the wick, but the next day you dump really badly. You break up with the wick, the next day you dump really badly. You went up with the wick, the next day you went down really badly. You try to break this again with a big huge green candle, the next day the red big green candle. So you can see how the similarities really are. Can this repeat again? It can, as long as you're not going to break this resistance, no volume, and weekend is also starting from tomorrow. There's a good chance that you do have that big green candle and a big red candle again, right? The probable scenario is to break it, confirm, come down for the retest, shoot it up. But one thing is very clear, there could be a nice bullish scenario as well. If you break it, now let's talk about the bullish scenario about it. That was all the bearish, okay? So the bullish part of it, we want to complete the cup and we want to complete the handle somehow, okay? It's like you're breaking out of the handle right now, but the thing is that for this one to be effective, you must come up here again. As I talked in the previous videos, break this level, come for the retest, boom, shoot to the moon. Simple. That's what you want to see, and that's exactly what you might want to consider trading when that happens. But right now, resistance is what is playing out. Break that resistance, come back for the retest, hold the retest, and you're absolutely golden to continue to the skies as well. And that's it for this update. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm going to see you in the next one. Allah Hafiz.